Adults, Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, Teen Lines of Poetry Collection, and Finding God Anime Devotional for Otakus, which is free on a variety of platforms. I'll leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out. Happy Wednesday, my friends! I'm so excited you're here. So excited for a new Top 5 Wednesday video. Though it's pretty shocking that this is the last, Wednesday of November. I feel like I'm not catching up whatsoever, but that's okay. We're going to be rambling all about books we are thankful for. That is today's prompt. But if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, Top 5 Wednesday was formed by Lainey back in 2013. The group is now since on Goodreads, and I'll also leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out. Basically, our host puts together a series of prompts, and then on Wednesday, we answer those prompts with 5 books, or in this case, manga, that reflect that said prompt. And as I mentioned, today is books that we are thankful for. There's those books that you read once and you know that it will just leave a lifetime impact on you. It's totally unforgettable. Then we have those other books that we reread over and over and just can't get enough of. So in honor of those stories, what are 5 manga that have touched my heart that I am just thankful for? And in no certain order, I'm going to feature one of my favorite, if not favorites, shoujo/josei, and that is A Sign of Affection. I absolutely love this manga, and I did a video review if you like to check it out. It is so good. I love Yuki. I love how this manga has a deaf heroine. I feel like it is such an interesting and fascinating, I feel weird saying it that way, but to see a heroine who cannot hear in a manga, in a way of storytelling that focuses on speaking and dialogue is just wow. And the manga creators reflected Yuki in such a beautiful and relatable and heart-moving way. I just love her story so much, and I really just love how it in a way, I feel like it's breaking stereotypes or stigma that those who are deaf, that they can't have their own special romance, which we know is not true. But society can be weird sometimes and say that we can't do certain things because of this, and this. So I absolutely am so thankful for this story and just showing that, regardless if a person can hear or not hear, if they can speak or not speak, that we are all the same inside and that we all deserve a moving, touching romance if that is what we desire. And I cannot wait to read more of Yuki's story. Volume 4, there we go, Volume 4 comes out in December, and this is a manga that every time a volume arrives, I read it twice that day. I just cannot get enough of it. And I'm just so thankful for this story and what it is showing, and just I can imagine how encouraging it is to other people. For number 2, going along very similar lines, I'm going to say Perfect World. This was the first manga review I ever did on this channel. If you'd like to check out the video, I read it during 4th of July and I totally cried. I loved it. This is the first time I have ever that I can distinctly recall reading about a hero who was in a wheelchair. And I knew and had a friend who was also in a wheelchair. I'm not close to them anymore just because they moved, I moved, and we just haven't kept in contact. But I know that this manga is a romance, but this manga was so eye-opening. I had felt blind before I read this, and then I felt my eyes were opened afterwards, and I just love this story. And I feel like our main girl here is just super relatable because while I feel like there is that stigma and that stereotype just worldwide for those who are in wheelchairs, I feel like maybe in Japan that there's even more of that, and that's not something addressed. And Perfect World is just absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. I have not read past volume 1, though I have heard it's extremely good, and I think we are slowly getting to the end. Anyway, I got a little bit off topic there, but I love how through her eyes, what is her name? Yeah, Sugumi, that through her eyes, we see her realizing that she feels a certain way and realizes that it can come across offensive, and then seeing our main dudes here struggle and just realizing that having stigmas just as a whole in society is just not cool. And I feel like that this manga again does what A Sign of Affection did, of showing that anybody can have romance and that we should not view people through a lens that is negative, or think, well, because they're in a wheelchair that they're different than me, and therefore say like you can't be friends with them or that you can't date them. Like that low-key addresses some of this, and especially seeing his struggles, man, yes, it was just very heart moving. And again, it was very eye opening. This is one of those titles that I have not gone back and read, but that I have not forgot. It is definitely one of those I could read once and it'll be unforgettable just because of the impact that it had on me. And I think I've been a little bit nervous to continue because I have heard that past volume 1 that there is definitely more drama, which isn't always bad, but I really loved how this manga moved my heart, opened my eyes, and helped me just to be more mindful, because I remember when my grandmother had to be wheelchair bound for a temporary time, and it was hard. It was hard finding wheelchair accessible places, and I love how passionate our guy is to make places, like, because he's a designer, and have those places have more access for those in wheelchairs. Like, it was great, and it made me more consciously aware of that myself. I highly recommend Perfect World. And still continuing on with that, let's go to number 3. Number 3 technically has not released, but it is Run on Your New Legs. And oh my goodness, I am just so pumped for this manga. As you guys can see, I'm thankful for manga that is able to capture characters who are different than me and let me into their world. I feel it's really important, especially at the times that we live in, that we are open to understanding people who are different than us, whether that's political view, whether that's our sexual orientation, whether that's just physical, whatever it may be. I feel it is important to understand and get to know other people without having that judgment there. So when Run on Your New Legs came out, I had heard about it during the Paralympics, I believe is when Run on Your New Legs made like its debut that it was going to be releasing. And I was over the moon excited. I actually teared up because I was like, we need a sports manga like this. If you have never watched the Paralympics, you need to watch it. If you think the Olympics is just amazing and seeing people who are quote unquote normal and be able to do these amazing things that we feel like ordinary people who are not doing those things and training like that is amazing, the Paralympics will blow your mind, because these are people who I can imagine have been told they cannot participate in this sport because they can't see, because they're missing a body part, because they're missing multiple body parts, and they go out there and they set world records and they just do the most amazing things. And all I could think about when I watch them is that, you know, we as a society say you shouldn't be able to do this, but yet they are doing it and they look so cool. And so I'm just so passionate and excited for Run Your New Legs. Like, this is one of my most highly anticipated manga that is coming out next year, and I will be devastated. I will be devastated, okay, if it is just not what I am expecting, in the sense of what is saying that this manga is, because I believe he was going to be like the soccer ace, which I didn't know that they had aces in soccer like that, but he was going to be the ultimate like spiker, and he gets into a car accident and he loses his leg, and rather than think like, oh, my life is over, I can no longer play soccer, he decides to enter the Paralympics and run on his new leg. And I am just so excited. And Japan actually this past year did a video series. I'll try and leave a link here. It was about those who say, like, let me think about it. Like, one girl, for example, she was doing, I don't know if it was karate, it wasn't jujitsu, but she was doing some form of martial arts, and her eyesight was slowly fading away, and it came to the point where she could not see again. So she felt that she could no longer do martial arts because she could not physically see her opponent. But she goes to this dojo and they show her, like, you know, you can still see, you can visualize your partner, and that the martial arts is really about movement and using your hands to feel. And oh, it was so good. It was so good. Like, the unfolding of it was excellent. There was another one that was about basketball. A man had been in a car accident and now he was playing basketball wheelchair bound. And let's just say that you can get aggressive and really competitive in that sports as well. And another thing that's just groundbreaking, it's breaking, like I said, that stigma, those stereotypes that, you know, you can't do this because of this, this, and this, like whatever those reasons might be. Just so good, and I just highly recommend it. And again, that is why I am thankful Run on Your New Legs. Like, we need manga like this and things that can highlight the Paralympics. yes, I am 100% all for it. And that is my number 3. I guess we can go on to number 4. I was about to say, sorry I got so passionate, but I'm not sorry about that. But for number 4, it's very different than the 3 that I have featured thus far. So number 4, I'm going to say Sailor Moon. Technically, I have not read the Sailor Moon manga, but I am thankful for this manga because I distinctly remember being, I don't know what age, but I was visiting my grandma when I was younger. She took me to their local bookstore, and I remember seeing a whole little display of Sailor Moon and getting a Sailor Moon manga. I had no idea, like, what Sailor Moon was about in the sense of the manga because it was not manga or volume number 1. I hadn't read any of the others, and I'm pretty sure that it was read in the traditional Japanese way and was completely lost. But I remember admiring Sailor Moon, and I still remember like what happened just by looking at the pictures. That imagery has never left me, and I had loved Sailor Moon before that. I was a huge Sailor Moon fan, loved the anime, and like I said, even though I haven't read the manga, I mean, that was literally my first time ever being exposed to manga. And granted, I was really young. I mean, it was many years later before we got here, but it was just so cool to think back and like, man, I had a Sailor Moon manga. I have zero idea even what happened to that volume, to be honest. I completely blank on it. I know I binge read it when I got home or to my grandma's house, but that's it. I don't remember anything past that. And I want to sneak in with this number 4 that I would say Dragon Ball as well, but I've only watched the anime of Dragon Ball, but that one was sort of like a gateway to anime as well with Sailor Moon. But I am so thankful for Sailor Moon. Again, I haven't read it, but I just wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Sailor Moon's influence, that is for sure. And coming in number 5, nobody's gonna be like not surprised, and that is Haikyuu. I love Haikyuu so much, and I'm not gonna gush about all the reasons why I'm thankful for this manga. I feel like every Top 5 Wednesday this month, I think I've mentioned Haikyuu at some point. I mean, for great leaders, we had Daichi. You guys knew that was coming. Love Daichi. And I was really excited that somebody else in Top 5 Wednesday said, yeah, they said Daichi for great leaders as well. I was like, yes, totally awesome. And then probably the one video where I did the most gushing, though, is when I did squad goals. I talked about why Hinata is so important to me, how he has changed my life, how Haikyuu in general has changed my life and affected me, and just, man, I just love it. I'm so thankful for Haikyuu. I'm so thankful for my friend Becca. Shout out to Becca, who was the one that was like, hey, I think you should check out this anime. And I was like, but it's volleyball. And she's like, just watch it. Just watch it. I watched it, and man, here we are with me obsessed. So I am just so thankful for Haikyuu, and I will leave it at that. Like I said, go watch my other videos from Top 5 Wednesday, and you will see why I am so thankful for this incredible manga and just all that Hinata is. And those, my friends, are 5 manga titles that I am just so thankful for different reasons. But what about you, friends? What are some manga titles that you were thankful for, whether you have read them? I mean, I haven't read Run Your New Legs, but you guys heard why I was really thankful for that releasing. Totally let me know. I would love to hear what you would choose. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!